Good morning, and welcome to the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour starring Gary Rossignol of RE/MAX Preferred Group. To be part of the program, dial 513-563-1480 to get your answers to questions about your home and property. That number again, 513-563-1480. Now, here's Gary.
Besides, may the 4th be with you. My saying for today is do not waste time thinking about what you could have done differently. Keep your eyes on the road ahead and do it differently now.
Wise.
My mantra all year's been that the markets shift as life changes, everything changes, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Including the gate getting out of here today.
Including my hairline. Yes, I agree.
However, people keep buying and selling real estate, always has and always will, right?
That's absolutely facts.
Yep. And we will be there to help you every step of the way. That's what we're all about. My guest this morning is a longtime friend. He's very generous with his time and knowledge, a leader in his community, and a great father. He's my mortgage lender guru, regional manager of Polaris Home Funding Corp. Welcome, Bob Pape.
Oh, thank you, Gary, for the great introduction.
You like that?
Too much credit to me, but, hey, I appreciate it, man. I like a big ego in the morning. It's great.
You're the main man. You're the main man. You got that. You're the one I always call when I got a question. And you always have an answer. It may not be the right answer, but you always have an answer.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
So if you have a question for us today, call us at 513-563-1480. We will give you an answer.
That is correct. Hopefully the correct one.
Well, we'll try.
All right.
We always have fun on the show. So anyhow, we're going to kick things off with my music trivia. Who are we? This is for a $10 gift card to Starbucks. Just call us right here at 513-563-1480. If you haven't won in the past 60 days and you qualify and can win today if you answer this question. I love this one. You'll probably know this answer.
We'll see.
We're an American rock band formed in Flint, Michigan in 1969. We achieved peak popularity and success during the 1970s with hit songs such as We're an American Band, I'm Your Captain, Some Kind of Wonderful, Walk Like a Man, and Locomotion. Who are we? Locomotion was a giveaway.
Yeah, well.
Walk Like a Man was too. 513-563-1480. Just give us a call. Here. Put the H's on there. All right. I want to thank Andy Furman and What's the Point? They were on from 8 to 9 o'clock every morning. And they're so generous with their time. They let me come in here. It takes me about 5 to 10 minutes to set all this rigmarole up. So you can watch us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter.
Well, yeah, I saw you sneaking in here to get set up this morning while the show was concluding.
Yeah, they're very, very kind to me. They let me sneak in at the end of their show and set up around them. So that's cool.
Good
Andy
deal.
Furman, what an iconic voice he has.
Well, I was telling you yesterday when you were kind of going over the schedule, when I was a kid, when I was younger, it got after 8 o'clock at night or whatever. I went up to my bedroom. We were generally listening like 700 WLW. And a lot of times they would, he would be on or they'd have one of the replays from his show earlier in the day. And so kind of grew up listening to him.
He's got one of those voices like John Englehart.
That's right.
Can't miss that voice.
That's right, yeah.
So I had you come in here today so we could talk a little bit about the market perspective for, I've got a report here, market perspective for January in 2024, and there were 1,005 transactions that month.
Right.
Only.
Yeah, that's by historical standards. That's nothing.
That's like a fourth of what we normally do
in a January. Yeah, not even a busier month. Obviously, a lot more than that.
And we had 215 cash offers.
That's right.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, you understand. If somebody has cash right now, it's I
didn't know people. I took a friend out. We looked at a $500,000 house about 4 weeks ago. He put an offer in $25,000 over asking price, and got beat out by somebody offered $25,000 more than him paying cash.
That is insane.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and then and
we thought we were a shoe-in.
Well, somebody paying cash, and then you always have that eliminates the risk of, hey, I'll go 25 over, but we don't know if it's going to appraise.
But doesn't cash come with a whole bundle of joy and problems that you got to deal with as well?
Well, I mean, it depends on where they're withdrawing the monies from.
Some people think it's cash, but it really isn't.
No.
They're taking money out of the equity of their house. That's not cash.
Yeah,
cash is money in the bank when you make that offer.
Right. I don't know that a title company would accept $500,000 cash. I don't even think they'd accept it. No. No, apologize. But yeah, when you have cash, we have what's called red flags rules. If somebody's giving us a bunch of cash that we're accepting, which we normally as a lender, that's not something we're going to put in one of our escrow accounts, but the title company may. But we've got to report that to the federal government that hey, there's more than $10,000, and and if you don't know where it's coming from,
you got to trace where it came from.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
It can't just show up.
That's correct. Yeah. And it's such a big change because, when I was a kid, people would go to a car lot and they would negotiate the price and they say, well, what's my cash price? Like if I give you cash.
Right.
That was a big deal.
Yeah,
I could pay cash.
Is more
right.
is better than writing a check. That money's money at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You get the check. Yeah. Right.
You get a check from the bank or you get a check from you. We're going to get the check. Yeah.
Okay. Who made great success back in the 70s with I'm Your Captain, Some Kind of Wonderful, Walk Like a Man, Locomotion. Who Are We? 513-563-1480. We can give away one more gift card to Starbucks. Let's put things in some perspective here, okay? Now, let's go back to 1971, Bob.
I was 3 years away from being born, and I'm 50 now, just so you know.
The interest rate was 7.33%. Sound familiar?
It does.
That's about where we are now, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Now,
if you would have waited 20... A
lot of buyers are saying, I'm going to wait till the interest rates drop.
Right.
Okay, here. If you waited for interest rates to go down, you wouldn't have purchased a home until 1993. 12 years later.
22 years later, right? 71 to 93?
Right, yeah. 22 years later.
Right.
You would have rented for 22 years waiting for rates to go down. Now, if your rent back then was $600 a month, that's $7,200 a year times 22. That's $158,000.
Wow.
Could have bought a house back then for $158,000. And 1971, the value of real estate quadrupled.
Between 71 and 1993.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
So now that $158,000 house would be worth about $600,000.
Yeah. Well, yeah, again, but I think like in the early 70s, I think you could have got a house $30,000, $35,000 maybe, somewhere in that range.
Maybe.
And then,
but your normal 3-4 bedroom, 2-story with 2.5 baths on a half-acre lot with a 2-car garage and a full basement, you'd be looking around $150,000.
Yeah. But probably not in the 70s, though, right? The 70s, the things were a lot less expensive than they are today.
Oh, no, I was just out of high school then.
Yeah, but, regardless, real estate goes up in value. Mm-hmm. You have a choice. You can pay your landlord's mortgage or you can pay your own mortgage.
Right.
I've always said that. And then the other thing is, too, when you're talking about interest rates being higher, and let's face it, they're higher now than they've been in a while. Mm-hmm. The type of loans that we do, to the 99th degree, are generally fixed rate loans, no prepayment penalty. So if rates do go down, you still have the option.
It could be FHA, it could be VA, it could be conventional. Yep. They're all great loans.
Yeah, and again, say that 7% rate, you wait till it goes down to 6%, and it's 5 years later. Mm-hmm. Well, that $300,000 house that you have now is a $380,000 house.
Right.
And so you'll get a lower rate, but you'll get a lower rate, but you're going to pay a lot more. So your payment's not going to be, as much different.
Right. So you brought up to me this week the 4 C's of underwriting, and I want to touch on that. I read through this. The 4 C's are capacity, capital, credit, and collateral.
Yep.
And those are your 4 C's. Now, people ask me all the time, what's the market like? Well, it used to be location, 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 right?
Yeah, well,
now it's the 3 I's: interest rates, inventory, and inflation. That's what makes up today's real estate market.
I have not heard it that way, but that is definitely facts. That's truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the interest rates are going up. Inflation is there. Inventory is low.
Right.
Which is that's why we're in the crazy market that we're in right now.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is absolutely.
So tell me about these 4 C's. What's the capacity?
Well, capacity is when an underwriter looks at a loan file and she or he are underwriting the file. When they're talking about capacity, that's the borrower's ability to repay the loan.
All right.
Your
underwriter is like the final phase of approving a loan.
So obviously, like on my phase, when I talk with say you refer me a client, I'm talking with your client. I'm developing a relationship with that person. I'm getting all their information. We're going through things. We're going through numbers. I get all their pay information, their banking information, everything. I ship that to an underwriter.
Yep.
The underwriter is a neutral third-party person that does not know our buyer. And they look at the file, and one of the things, again, the first thing they're looking at is, okay, is this person a stable income? Is it a variable type income, like a commission income? Is this person self-employed? Because obviously self-employed, people, when you're going through their taxes, there's always kinds of things you have to decipher and add back in and subtract out.
Or they sell cars at so-and-so car lot?
You're right. And, where if they work for the IRS, they're going to get the same paycheck every single week or biweekly. At a car dealership, times could be great where they're making a ton, or a realtor or a loan officer, where times can be great, say 2020, 2021, where you couldn't even get through a day and stay caught up, to where now 1,000 transactions in the month of January, it's different. Your income can be adversely affected by the market, where a W-2 person, generally speaking, you work for the IRS or a government agency, you're not going to be affected.
Right.
So that's something that they judge.
So that's the capacity. Then the capital is the money in the bank account?
Yes, that's your capital. Do you have a structured savings pattern? Are you every month putting aside money? That looks great. Also on the collateral is, where's the money coming from? If there's, unexpected deposits in there that you can't explain, the underwriter's, not going to count that income as part of that goes.
And of course, we all know what credit is, and we're going to get a little bit more in what bad credit and good credit is later on in the show.
Then how to fix that. Yep.
And then there's your collateral. That's
the property itself.
Right.
Is the collateral that you're buying.
Got to make sure that complies with the standards that the underwriter looking for.
The loan program, yes. We always talk about, there can be an older home that you found, and there's a lot of them out there that built in the 1940s or 1950s.
Still has knob and tube wiring,
lead-based paint. Maybe it's been painted over. Different things the underwriter has to
an
validate.
Old Williamson 5-in-1 furnace. It's rusted around the bottom, but it's still working.
But still,
still works.
And that's the thing is, I don't mean to deviate from the subject too much, but what you just brought up and how a furnace can last for 80 years.
Oh yeah,
and a new furnace.
Will last 20 years, maybe.
Maybe, if you're doing well.
And you're going to spend $12,000 for the new furnace.
That's exactly right. Now it's going to heat more efficiently, but still, it is what it is.
Yeah. So the key to all this, ladies and gentlemen who are tuning in, is get pre-approved before you go and look. Before I take you out to look at number one house, We need to know what your credit is. We
Right.
need to know what your capital is,
Yep.
what your capacity is, and then we'll take a look at the collateral.
Yep. And the 3 C's that you just discussed, one of the big things is obviously the loan program that we're able to go with. Mm-hmm. You know, we have programs that if maybe you don't have a lot of savings structured, well, we've got things no money down.
Yeah.
Or, you know, different things to that aspect. If your credit score's a little bit lower, we've got programs for that, you know, to work around.
At this time each week, I like to express my gratitude to our troops, veterans, first responders, and all of our heroes. That's our nurses and doctors, nurses, aides, health care, and the EMT staff, our police and firefighters. Too often they deal with life and death situations, so let's thank them and keep them in our thoughts and prayers. The Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour is brought to you today by Bob Pape with Polaris Home Funding Corp. His direct line number is 859-468-1929. Call him today. You'll answer your phone today, right?
I will.
All right.
Yeah.
After our break, we're going to have a moment with Miles, and then we're going to talk about the next chapter in your life. You're listening to the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour on WDJO 1480, now on 99 FM 995 and 107.9.
Home Funding Corp is your premier mortgage lender in Greater Cincinnati. They offer a complete line of financing options, including FHA, USDA, VA, conventional and reverse mortgage loans, plus 203K and conventional renovation loans. Polaris Home Funding Corp makes the loan process simple, straightforward, and fast for borrowers seeking a mortgage in the Greater Cincinnati area. They can even work with low credit scores. Call Bob Pape today at 859-468-1929 to discuss your financing options at Polaris Home Funding Corp.
Agent NMLS number 61416. Company NMLS 38072.
The Tri-State Warbird Museum presents Wings and Wheels on Saturday, May 11th from 10 until noon. Come see vintage aircraft and automobiles. Those who purchase tickets in advance will be entered for a chance to win a Warbird ride. Wings and Wheels opens at 10 a.m. to the general public. The aerial demo starts at 10:30 and the show awards at 11:30. Come visit the Tri-State Warbird Museum's family fun event on Saturday, May 11th from 10 to noon. Kids are free and pre-sale adult admission is just $7. Day of admission is $10. Have a card to register for the show? Please visit tswm.org for more information.
When you need the expertise of a top-notch plumbing company, it's Zinn's Plumbing you ought to call. Oh, they may be at the bottom of the alphabetical listing, but the service and pricing of Zinn's Plumbing puts them at the head of the class. They don't keep you waiting for hours on end on appointment calls. Zinn's Plumbing works within a 2-hour time frame, so you don't waste your time waiting for a service technician. And when a Zinn's plumber comes to solve your problem, you can feel confident the job will be done right. With Zinn's Plumbing, you'll always know what the cost will be before they start. They bill on a flat rate basis instead of an inefficient hourly billing system. Zinn's state-of-the-art trucks carry thousands of parts to complete your job with no needless delays. Well-trained professional plumbing technicians and courteous customer service are the hallmark of Zinn's Plumbing. It's a local family business proudly serving Greater Cincinnati since 1976. They can probably schedule your appointment today. Give Zinn's Plumbing a call at 681-2501. 681-2501. Zinn's Plumbing.
Did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
One word that I would have to describe Dr. Peck would be perfectionist. I didn't like pictures taken because I could see my smile was not very attractive. Basically, I'd gotten to the point where I was going to have dentures. And so that's when we started the long journey, despite the time, the effort, the money. I would do this over again. People at work say, your teeth really look nice. And I said, I know, don't they?
For your own beautiful new smile, call Dr. Fred Peck at 513-621-7666 or visit pecksmiles.com.
I'm Connie Birdwell, and I love my new smile.
Get on. Let's rock the house.
Thanks for listening and watching. We are on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, which is now called X. My name is Gary Rossignol, certified residential specialist, better known as Cincinnati's rock and roll realtor with RE/MAX Preferred Group. And speaking of RE/MAX Preferred Group, I've been waiting for this moment all week long. This is The captain of our ship, Mr. Miles Beersford, with his provocative thought for the day. This is A Moment with Miles.
Hey, Gary, rock and roll, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Someone said the only thing guaranteed in life is death, and that's a pretty bleak outlook on life. Someone else said the only guarantee in life is change. I love that premise because it gives me the reason to wake up every morning and say, good morning, God. What do you have in store for me today? Today is not the same as yesterday, and it's going to be different tomorrow. And that's this morning's Moment with Miles.
I like that, Miles. I like the way you put it. That is the captain of our ship, Mr. Miles Beersford, along with his lovely wife, Christine. They own RE/MAX Preferred Group, which is today the largest RE/MAX brokerage in the entire state of Ohio.
Is it really?
I'm proud to be part of that. Yeah, they were Broker Owners of the Year several years ago in the whole nation. That's tremendous.
Yeah.
So, but I like to go one step further. You know, he said there's three absolutes in life in my book. Number one is we're all going to die. Number two is your taxes always go up.
That's true.
And number three, everything changes.
Yeah. All true.
Walking into the studio about a month ago, found out, we got a show before mine, so now I got to sneak around and get set. And now they're putting a new gate out front, so I can't leave till 11 o'clock. And it's like, springing on this last minute.
Yeah, the taxes thing that you said, I'll touch on that really quick. Obviously we do a ton of purchases, and we have initial tax rates when somebody closes. Well, last year a lot of homes were reassessed for values, and I would have clients that, hey, the bank is calling and they're asking for this much money for my escrow account.
Mm-hmm.
How can that happen? I'm like, well, your taxes went from, X amount per year. They got reassessed through the county, and now they're this much.
Yeah.
I said, so, yeah, that's legitimate.
Yeah.
And it's, and the taxes going up,
And insurance. My home insurance doubled from last year, and I called the musical insurance guy. Says, Gary, what's going on here? He'll be on the show next week, so we'll delve into that. But he says, well, let me ask you this question. He asked a good question. He's good. He said, if your house were to burn down today, would you rebuild that house? I said, no. It's a huge house. It was built in 1965. To replace my house, we were looking $500,000-$600,000. It was insured for that.
Yeah, I
wouldn't rebuild that house.
Yeah.
He says, well, let's just insure it for its market value. So, yeah.
But if you have a mortgage, though, the lender is going to require that you carry enough insurance that if it burned to the ground, it could be rebuilt the same way.
I have a home equity conversion mortgage, which is about half of the
reverse
value.
mortgage.
So, yeah.
That's key.
And I don't have to make a payment. It's a beautiful program.
Right. But, in our area, in the Ohio Valley, this area we're at, we're kind of fortunate with homeowners insurance. I mean, imagine living in Florida right now.
Oh, I know.
Where every insurance company, they want to evacuate. They don't even want to insure houses down there anymore.
Or
Hawaii,
yeah.
Texas, California.
Yeah.
I mean.
Which brings us to our next topic, the next chapter. And this is an article that I found. Barbara Bellinger wrote. This is about baby boomers, and with a mindset that they are healthier than their parents were, have adequate nest eggs to maintain their homes, and are emotionally attached to their neighborhoods and belongings, many boomers are revising the anticipated script, or they'll live as they enter the last chapter of their lives. So many times I hear it said, I'm not moving until they carry me out in a pine box.
Uh-huh.
I call that aging in place.
Yeah,
and as a senior real estate specialist, I've been trained, and I have the experience of working with enough seniors. I know exactly how. I'm a baby boomer.
Right.
I know exactly how they feel. I'm not going to move. Do I need the house I'm in? No. But I love where I'm at. I'm not going to move.
You love your area. You love your community. And, I think most people would like to age in place like you're talking about. I know every now and then there's going to be medical or physical traumas that affect that decision.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, as long as I stay healthy and I'm able to mow and do the different things, taking upkeep on my house, I plan on being there as well.
Right. So with 10,000 boomers reaching age 65 every day, it's a good time to think about how you might help them navigate this complicated life change. So many boomers say, I'm not moving. I don't care. The bathroom's on the second floor. The laundry room's still in the basement. We're having trouble getting up and down the steps, but by God, I'm not moving.
Right.
So what's the solution to that? Well, and to you can modify the home, but there's a huge cost involved with it.
Absolutely, yes.
And you do reverse mortgages. That's a perfect scenario for a baby boomer
that wants to stay in the house.
Yeah.
Now, again, in the real estate side, you understand that a huge ranch is going to sell for more money than a lot of 2 stories or tri-levels or quad levels for the same reasons that you mentioned. The price per square foot is going to be a little bit more.
Yeah.
But with the reverse mortgage, if, from the financial side, that alleviates a lot of burdens and a lot of pressures.
Yeah.
Now, again, you've never planned on leaving the house, and it's not your biggest goal in life to leave it to your heirs, as far as...
They got better houses than they don't want my house.
That's right. And I understand. I mean, it's, it would be a perfect scenario if you're, even if you own your house outright, but you'd like to get a little bit of cash out to help your nest egg.
What are you going to do? You're going to go to the bank and you're going to borrow against your house, and you're going to be making mortgage payments with interest on your own money.
Yeah, on your own money.
And every month you got to make that payment.
100%.
Whereas with reverse mortgage, all you have to do is pay your taxes and insurance. Bingo.
And upkeep your house.
Yep, right.
And that's really the main goal.
So, I got this report, share of buyers and sellers by generation. Gen Zers, sellers are 2% and buyers are 3%. Gen Zers are...
Now, I'm Gen X. That's what I'm curious about.
Gen Zers were born from 97 to 2010.
Yeah.
The next generation is going to be the Alpha generation.
That's right.
And the greatest are your baby boomers, where 19% are sellers, 12% are buyers. That's your older boomers. And your younger boomers, 26% are sellers and 19% are buyers. That's those, and your millennials are covering the market.
Right.
And the baby boomers are a little bit ahead of the millennials, believe it or not, in buyers and sellers.
Yeah, typically the generation that's, 65 plus, I mean, what we just referred to are the ones responsible for bringing a lot of houses to market because of downsizing, moving to their second home in Florida, for example, or different things. But right now, I think from every generational standpoint, there's a lot of people holding on to their houses right now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what creates the market we're in. The inventory's low.
Right.
So tune in on Sunday nights at 7 o'clock for John Englehart and Soda Shop Sunday right here on WDJO. The Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour is brought to you today by Bob Pape with Polaris Home Funding Corp. His number is 859-468-1929. He does it all. He does it the best. Call him today if you have any inclination of buying a home, refinancing your home, whether you're a veteran, whether you're a baby boomer, whether you're a millennial. He can take care of you. Don't touch that dial. Coming up is my music history, and then we're going to talk about a couple of my real estate pet peeves. I got a couple things on my mind I want to get off my shoulders. You're listening to the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour on WDJO, 1480 AM, now on FM 99.5 and 107.9.
Have you been thinking about selling your house, or maybe thinking about downsizing, and the process just seems overwhelming? Either way, we've got the answers. Gary Rossignol, real estate pro at RE/MAX Preferred Group and host of the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour, has put his vast real estate knowledge to work for people like you. He can help you put together a plan for selling your home or finding a new place to settle down. And why is now the best time to make your move? Rent prices are always going up, so buying a home is your best option. Let Gary walk you through the process. Call him today at 513-777-2402. That's 513-777-2402 to get started. He's licensed in Ohio and Kentucky, so he can help you out no matter where you live. Rumors of Fleetwood Mac, the world's finest tribute to Fleetwood Mac, returns to Ohio this August. Hear all the legendary hits performed live at PNC Pavilion on August 7th. Tickets starting at only $24 are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com and the PNC Pavilion box office. Rumors of Fleetwood Mac live in Cincinnati on August 7th.
How many times have you called an automotive service shop to get work done on your car just to find out they're backed up for 2 weeks or more? Hi, I'm Robert Nolan of John Nolan Auto Service. John Nolan Auto Service is ready right now to work on your car. We can do anything from a simple oil change, new tires, brakes, or an entire engine overhaul. Our ASC certified technicians can do it all and at a fair price. So if you're hearing strange noises in your vehicle, call John Nolan Auto Service at 859-261-8833 for an appointment today. John Nolan Auto Service, trusted in Cincinnati for over 50 years, is located on 4th Street in Newport, Kentucky, just across from the World Peace Bell. Call us at 859-261-8833 for your appointment today.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is one of my favorite parts of the show. It's time for Gary's Music History. And on this day in 1956, Gene Vincent recorded the classic rock and roll song Bebop-A-Lula at Owen Bradley's studio in Nashville, Tennessee. The song went on to be a top 20 hit in this year. Vincent has said that he wrote the words to the song after being inspired by a comic strip called Little Lulu. I like that. On this day, back in 1967, the Young Rascals started a 4-week run at number 1 on the U.S. singles chart with Groovin'. Atlantic Records head Jerry Wexler did not want to release the song. U.S. disc jockey Murray the K, good for you, Murray, heard the track and encouraged Atlantic to release it. And the rest is history. What do record department heads know anyway? On this day back in 1970, 4 students at Kent University were killed and 11 wounded by National Guard troops at a campus demonstration protesting the escalation of the Vietnam War. The incident inspired Neil Young to compose Ohio, which became a hit for Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. And history does repeat itself.
Isn't it ironic what's going on right now?
On this day back in 1973, Led Zeppelin opened their 1973 North American tour, which was billed as the biggest and most profitable rock and roll tour in the history of the United States. The group would gross over $4 million from the dates, flying between gigs in the Starship, which was a Boeing 720 passenger jet, complete with a bar, a shower room, a TV and video in a 30-foot lounge, and a white fur bedroom. That's traveling in style.
That is. That's what I've always wanted, a white fur bedroom.
Here's the trivia question answer. On this day in 1974, Grand Funk Railroad started a 2-week run at number 1 on the U.S. singles chart with their version of the Little Eva hit, The Locomotion. It was only the second time that a cover version had been a number one as well as the original. And on this date, back in 1989, Stevie Ray Vaughan set out on what would be his last ever tour at the Orpheum Theatre, Vancouver, British Columbia. The guitarist was killed in a helicopter crash on the 27th of August in 1990 after a concert at Alpine Valley Music Theater in Wisconsin, after playing 107 of the 110 dates, and this is his hit, Pride and Joy, and he learned from my cousin Lonnie Mack.
Really?
Oh, yeah. On this date, back in 2008, Madonna's latest album, Hard Candy, went straight to number one, giving the singer a chart double with her song 4 Minutes, featuring Justin Timberlake. On top of the singles chart for a third week, Hard Candy was Madonna's 10th number one album. You go, girl. Born on this day, back in 1972, American musician Mike Dirnt, bassist with Green Day, who had the 1995 U.S. number 2 album, Dookie. Before taking its current name in 1989, the band's name was Blood Rage, then Sweet Children. They were part of the late 1980s, early 90s Bay Area punk scene that emerged from the 924 Gilman Street Club in Berkeley, California. Green Day are one of the world's best-selling bands of all time, having sold more than 75 million records worldwide. In 2010, Green Day's 7th album, a rock opera called American Idiot, found popularity with a younger generation, selling 6 million copies. A stage adaptation of American Idiot debuted on Broadway. The musical was nominated for 3 Tony Awards, and the band was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2015. So there you go. I hope you had as much fun with these musical notes as I had while researching them for you. I'm called Rock and Roll Realtor because I play with the greatest classic rock band in Cincinnati, Bluestone Ivory. We will be at Keener Park in Westchester, Claremont County Pumpkin Run, Georgetown Music on the Square, and many others this summer. Just go to bluestoneivory.com for more information. Yeah, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Lonnie Mack is my second cousin.
Right.
And he had a couple of hits back in the late 60s, Wham and Memphis, which were instrumentals. And Stevie Ray Vaughan bought his album and wore it out. His dad got so sick and tired of listening to that album, he broke it and threw it away. Stevie Ray went out and bought another one. He was self-taught from Lonnie Mack's album.
Yeah.
I got a concert on YouTube of Lonnie Mack with Stevie Ray Vaughan together doing Wham.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God, what
Look
it up.
I have a couple good friends that are guitarists, and they, the reverence with Stevie Ray Vaughan is just like he's a god.
He is.
I mean, there was I think there's a song that they always talk about where he plays lead guitar and rhythm guitar in the same song.
Oh yeah,
The Sky's Crying, maybe is what the name of it. I'm like, well, I mean, and to think that your second cousin resulted in his his virtuosity training.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's a cool story.
And Lonnie doesn't get the credit that he deserves. He's right up there with Eric Clapton and Stevie Ray Vaughan and some of the greats in blues and rock and roll guitars. And he made the Flying V famous too. So, but anyhow, so some of my real estate pet peeves, going out and helping buyers purchase homes and helping sellers sell homes. I see a lot of stuff going on.
I can only imagine.
One thing that buyers often ask, and I think it's because they want to know, and why, I don't know, but Teresa Boardman, she's a broker in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and I'm a friend of hers, and she blogs all the time, and she did this blog, questions because people want to know. Sometimes when I show a property, the potential buyers have all kinds of questions that I really can't or won't answer. They ask, why are the sellers moving? Well, if they weren't moving, the house wouldn't be available for you to buy.
That's right.
They want to delve into their personal life. How many kids do they have? What are their ages? Does the buyer really have a right to know all those details? Does it matter?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And I think a buyer can make a lot of inferences when they walk through a house.
Is it on your application or anywhere in your paper? We talked about the 4 C's.
The
is there
seller.
Anywhere in there why the seller is selling?
There is zero as to
how
what
many
the
kids
seller's
they had
doing.
or what the ages were?
That's right, yeah.
It's just crazy. Another one, I was showing a house, was listed as a 5-bedroom, and it was a ranch. And we get there, and there's 3 bedrooms on the first floor, and there's 2 rooms in the basement. Now, the basement was partially finished. It was a full basement, by the way. And that's another one of my pet peeves, where I have buyers say, I don't want part basement. I want a full basement. So on the MLS, it says full basement. You get there, and guess what? Half of the basement is a crawl space.
Yeah.
That's not a full basement. That is a part basement, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure your real estate professional gets it right, because my buyer looks at me and they're angry. Why'd you show me this house? Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Then you have to justify the MLS. Well, here's what it says.
Right.
Right.
So here's these 2 rooms in the basement, which I guess you could put a bed in it and you could sleep there, but is it qualified as a legal bedroom? No.
No, it is not.
According to the appraiser.
No.
Appraisal reality from the office of Dirk Snyder and Associates.
Yeah.
Comes the following. A bedroom must have a closet, a window, and a 7x9 minimum, and if below grade, must have an ingress to the outdoors easily accessible.
Right.
You need to be able to climb out of that room outside.
That's correct. Yeah, and it's amazing to me that, again, in that case where a real estate agent listed it on the MLS and they called it a bedroom.
I called him on it. He says, Gary, I've researched, and the NAR, National Association of Realtors, says wherever you can lay your head is a bedroom. Oh, okay. Well, then my walk-in closet is a bedroom.
Yeah.
Or my kitchen is a bedroom because I can lay down on the kitchen table. Sometimes I'll fall asleep at the kitchen table if it's late at night and I get done snacking. You can't call that a bedroom.
No, absolutely not.
So those are a couple of my little pet peeves. Oh, another one of my pet peeves, Bob, you'll like this. You walk in a room. I was looking at a house that's getting ready to go on the market. They are going to do a whole house inspection before we put it on the market. But I flipped switches, 3 different switches, and he did nothing. You look up in the ceiling, there's a light bulb up there. But if a home inspector goes in and flips a switch and the light don't come on,
yeah,
they're going to call it out as an electrical problem.
Yep.
Inspectors don't carry fresh light bulbs and going to replace the bulb and see if it's only the bulb.
Yeah, that's absolutely the truth. And appraisers, appraisers, they're not allowed they're not allowed to turn on things and off things related to electricity when they go into a house. So, we often get that as the gas wasn't on when we inspected the house, or the electric wasn't on.
So what is a bad credit score?
Well, listen, there's bad credit scores and bad credit, which are 2 totally different things. Like when you're looking at credit scores, if you're looking at a conventional loan,
people get hung up on their credit score.
They do, but on a conventional loan, to get the ideal rate, they're looking for 740 plus. And then they have different tranches or different tiers going down.
Mm-hmm.
And it can, you can go down all the way into the 500s. But for a conventional loan, that's very hard to do. Mm-hmm. Where if you have an FHA loan, for example, and you can explain things, sometimes that's doable.
Okay.
But there's always the thing with credit scores, and what I always try to emphasize to people, a credit score is just a snapshot of your credit at one period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a $300 credit card with a $300 limit,
oh, that's bad.
And they're going to perceive that as terrible. But you take that, you pay down $250, and you have a $300 credit card with a $50 limit. All of a sudden, that has a big impact on your credit score.
Or a $1,000 credit card with a $300.
Right. And we do is, we can look at it, and we have what's called a what if simulator. Say, okay, hey, your credit score right now is a 595, but if we do blah, 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 this might cost you $400, but we can get you, we think that your predictor model will go up to $650.
Yeah.
And
reason why you're buying is you just went through a nasty divorce.
Right.
Your ex ran you through the ringer with credit cards, your credit cards.
Right.
Now you're stuck with all the debts, and you don't want to live in an apartment. You want to buy a house because you're used to living in a house. You deserve to buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
Those kind of things, a good, strong letter can be convincing.
And that scenario you just gave, we had a loan within the last 12 months where same thing, went through a divorce. The gentleman had moved out of the house. The wife assumed it. It was awarded to the wife in the separation agreement. And there were no payments missed until after it was solely in the wife's name. We were able to prove that, and even though it did have an adverse effect on his score, the underwriter didn't count that against him because it happened after she was awarded the house. So there's all kinds of things we can do.
Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour is brought to you today by Bob Pape with Polaris Home Funding Corp. His phone number is 468-1929. 859-468-1929. If anything you heard today strikes a nerve and you want more information, call him. He is always open for business to talk to you. He will help you through thick and thin when it comes to mortgage financing. Stay with us. Next, we're going to have a visit with Bill Kerrigan of the Dragonfly Foundation. You're listening to the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour on WDJO 1480 AM, now on FM 99.5 and 107.9.
Polaris Home Funding Corp is your premier mortgage lender in Greater Cincinnati. They offer a complete line of financing options, including FHA, USDA, VA, conventional and reverse mortgage loans, plus 203K and conventional renovation loans. Polaris Home Funding Corp makes the loan process simple, straightforward, and fast for borrowers seeking a mortgage in the Greater Cincinnati area. They can even work with low credit scores. Call Bob Pape today at 859-468-1929 to discuss your financing options at Polaris Home Funding Corp.
Agent NMLS number 61416. Company NMLS 38072.
This is Burton Cummings, the voice of a generation. Burton Cummings, 60th Anniversary Hits Tour. September 25th at Taft Theater. From the original voice of the Guess Who's classic hit songs to his incredible solo career, Burton Cummings and his band. Reserved seats on sale now at Ticketmaster.com and the Taft Theater box office.
Take it from the professor, Jim LaBarbera. Old drafty windows cost you money every month. I know this is true. And I also know you're going to love our friends at Windows Direct USA. They're locally owned, so they live here and they hire here. Now, as the name implies, Windows Direct is a manufacturer's direct dealer. They can save you thousands over the competition, and that ensures top quality control and affordable pricing. They've got a lifetime product and labor warranty, so you know you're protected. For a limited time, buy 3 windows, get 3 free. Did you know you can get a house full of windows for as low as $99 a month? And in most cases, they're done in just one day. So take it from the professor. Before making a major home improvement, make an educated decision. Go online and take a look at
You know, it's easy to turn your unwanted, broken, or unused gold and silver jewelry and coins into needed cash. Gold and silver class rings, wedding bands, and coin collections can all be turned into needed cash fast at Franklin Street Coin Company in Evendale. They are paying more because they buy more. Get the highest prices available fast at Franklin Street Coin Company, a proud sponsor of Ohio State sports. Go Buckeyes!
The Tri-State Antique Market is Indiana's largest monthly antiques and vintage-only market. The market is always the first Sunday of the month from May through October and features at least 200 vendors selling a wide variety of furnishings, collectibles, home and garden decor, jewelry, and pop culture memorabilia. Adult admission is just $5 at the Tri-State Antique Market, May 5th at the Lawrenceburg Fairgrounds, 1 mile west of exit 16 from I-275 on the corner of US 50 and Hollywood Boulevard. Visit LawrenceburgAntiqueShow.com.
Oh, get on. Let's rock the house.
You're listening to the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour with yours truly, Gary Rossignol. I am your senior real estate specialist with RE/MAX Preferred Group. The Dragonfly Foundation, they support pediatric cancer families and patients by an amazing feat. They have built a network that connects Dragonfly families to each other and our community, and they provide programs to enhance their quality of life. These programs are in partner with the greatest children's hospital in the entire United States, and that's our very own Cincinnati Children's Hospital. This gentleman takes time out of his busy day and calls in on my show each week. He is a board of director member of the Dragonfly Foundation. He has been their number one cheerleader and their number one fan for many years. This is my friend, Mr. Bill Kerrigan. Good morning, Bill.
Hey, good morning, Gary. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Kind of wet for that.
Hey, were your ears burning this morning, Gary?
Yeah, why?
Because Christine Knightsky and I want to take you to lunch sometime in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, okay. Be happy to.
You and your lovely bride.
We'd love to do that for sure. Just give me.
I will reach out to you this week and we'll get a date on the calendar.
All right. Sounds like fun. But besides eating, stuffing our face, and socializing together and getting caught up, the Dragonfly Foundation has a mission in life, and their mission is coming to fruition. It was a dream about 12, 13 years ago. It became a reality, and now it's becoming an everyday name, the Dragonfly Foundation. All you have to do is put a billboard up that just says Dragonfly, and everybody knows what that means. That's tremendous. That's great. Yet you continue to service the folks who need the help, and explain to us exactly what the Dragonfly Foundation does and what they do not do.
Yeah, that's a great question, Gary, and I appreciate you asking it, because so many people, when they look at us, outside looking in, they think that we are an organization focused on curing pediatric cancer, and that's not our mission. Our mission is to take care of the families that are facing an incredibly difficult, very scary battle. And we do that by meeting the families once they arrive at Cincinnati Children's, giving them a large bag of supplies based on our experience of things people are going to need while they're fighting their cancer at Cincinnati Children's. And then we also organize events and fundraisers to help them financially, because as you know, Gary, most families, when they get that diagnosis, they completely pull up the stakes to their tent and they shove that tent into the back seat and they get to Cincinnati Children's as fast as they possibly can. And they can't possibly know the world that they're entering. And so we're there to say, hey, we've been doing this for 13 years. We've seen it all. We've been there. We've done it. You're going to be okay. You've got a support network around you. You have people that love and care for you. And we're going to provide you whatever resources you need while you're here.
Right. And the Dragonfly Foundation, they run on fumes as far as paid employees. It's basically 85% volunteers, and we need money to survive. I know you just had your big banquet last Saturday, and I think that was a huge success, but we need your help, ladies and gentlemen. Get out your smartphone, your iPhone, your Galaxy, whatever you use to communicate with the family and kids, and text the word WINGS15, that's WINGS 15, to 71777. A $5 donation is very, very helpful. 50 would be better, and 500 would be great. But whatever makes you feel good about what you're doing to help the Dragonfly Foundation, do it right now. If you wait till this afternoon, you're going to forget that it's WINGS15, and you text that to 71777, and a very secure website opens up and allows you to help the Dragonfly Foundation with your money. And you got to help. You got to reach out and help. Right, Bill?
So it's a very easy way to do it. And, every time you go to Kroger, you have an opportunity to help as well. So If your listeners are not enrolled in Kroger Community Rewards, we would encourage them to get enrolled and to designate the Dragonfly Foundation. That is a very simple way to help, and it costs you nothing.
There you go. We're just about out of time for today. Thanks for all who listened and watched on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And my guest, Mr. Bob Pape with Polaris Home Funding Corp. He is a gentleman and a scholar. Call him today if you're thinking of buying, refinancing, or whatever. Are you in ownership of a property that you don't need, or know someone with a property that they don't want or can't sell? Just call me at 513-777-2402. Always hug your kids. Call your parents and siblings regularly. Kiss your spouse every day. I did, and stay safe. The Car Tech Show is up next. We don't sell houses, we solve problems, which reminds me of this hit by Steely Dan performed by Bluestone Ivory. It's called My Old School. Thanks for another great show, and if you have any real estate question, just call me at 513-777-2402 or go to rockandrollrealestateagent.com. Thanks to all my sponsors who make this show possible, as well as Chris and Miles Beersford, brokers of RE/MAX Preferred Group. A special thanks to WDJO station manager Gary Stevens and my producer Dan Gettelfinger. I would also like to shout out to all my clients, friends, family, fans of Bluestone Ivory, the Dragonfly Foundation, and especially my wife Mary Jo. Until next week, keep knocking on my rockin' houses. So long for now.
The preceding program was a paid program. Its views and opinions expressed are not necessarily those of this station or its management.
WDJO, Cincinnati.